old legends, stories told to us as younglings in the temple.
There's always a bit of truth in legends.
What's up, everyone? My name is Talon, and today I'm here with my friend Tony to talk about Star Wars and him as a YouTuber. How are you doing today, Tony?
I'm great, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. You want to tell us about your channel and what you do for the Star Wars community?
Yeah, so I'm Tony from the Star Wars Sith YouTube channel. Started my channel a little over 2 years ago to cover Star Wars Celebration because a lot of Star Wars fans have never heard of Celebration, never been to a celebration. So that's what got it going. And then I kind of just started recording everything else that I do, collecting, unboxing, video games, card opening, reactions. So my channel is a little bit of everything Star Wars, but the main focus is celebrations and conventions because that's just so much fun, man.
Yeah, I gotta say, man, I've learned a lot about going to conventions just off of your channel there. So I would like to say thank you for that because
Yes.
you prepared me, in a whole lot of ways, bro.
Yeah, that's kind of why I started it, because like my first celebration was 2017 and I didn't know a thing, how anything worked, how this worked. And like I missed the George Lucas, Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill panel that was there because I didn't know how anything worked. So after that, it's kind of like it kind of pushed me to like, start doing it and showing people it.
Okay. Yeah, I had never heard of like Star Wars Celebration until recently. And then like when I did hear about it, I thought it was more of like an exclusive thing. So I've, never thought about like actually attending. But I mean, now like I know after you guys get back from Japan, I want to start going to them, especially when they come back to the States.
Yeah. After Japan, it should come back stateside. Definitely 2027. For sure, there has to be one because that's the 50-year anniversary of A New Hope. But I have a feeling it might be earlier than that. It might be 2026. We'll see. We'll find out next year for sure.
Either way, I'm gonna be there, brother. I cannot wait for it. So what made you like really, besides like Celebration and everything, what made you want to like actually get into the game of like YouTube and recording?
So part of it was Celebration, but part of it was watching like Star Wars Theory, Joshua Den of Nerds, because like for the first couple of years watching these dudes, I thought that everybody on YouTube, they just did it for fun and they had regular jobs. And then it got to the point where I'm like, these dudes don't work. This is what they do. And I was like, I've been doing this my whole life for free. Like I could, there's a possibility. So that kind of like made it me want to do it even more, was seeing that, hey, they do this full time. That's kind of crazy that that's an actual thing. And everything that I do on my channel is 100% just me. It's just me being me. I'm just recording it. I wish I would have started it in my channel in 2015 because 2015 was my first convention ever. It was MegaCon Orlando, and I've been going on and off to cons like since then, a lot more recently with the channel and stuff. But I wish I would have started a lot sooner. Because like it's just fun. You just meet so many people, you make so many new friends, you get some opportunities to work with people, and it's a lot of fun, man.
Nice. Yeah, it is really fun, especially I just getting started this year, and that's one thing that I wish I would have done is get started even earlier.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. Ready to get into some Star Wars?
Always, of course.
So, first thing I usually like to ask is, how old are you, man?
I'm 39. I was born in 85. OG.
Oh my God. You look way younger than 39.
Yeah, man.
That's what's up. So, you were at the tail end of the original trilogy then, right?
Yeah, I didn't see the OT until I think it was like 92 or 93. Whenever the first box set came out, because my dad had that first box set, and I used to watch that religiously. So that was my first experience with Star Wars, was the 3 VHS trilogy box set. I think it was like 92, 93. So I probably was around like 7 or 8 when I first saw Star Wars.
Okay. Well, like, how was that like when you first experienced it watching the original trilogy?
Oh, it was amazing. It was like nothing I'd ever seen. I
Mhm.
just remember just watching it all the time, always like getting out the VHS, rewinding it to the beginning, and just going through. So I watched it a ton, and I do remember in the '90s it used to pop up on TV all the time. So
Uh-huh.
say if like Empire popped up on TV, I would watch it on TV, and then as soon as it finished, I would go get Return of the Jedi VHS, pop it in, and just keep it going. So I
Yeah.
remember watching it like a lot in the '90s, like every time it was on TV or just busting out the VHS set.
Nice, nice. I'm actually envious because I know now I can tell that you were able to see all the prequels in the theaters, weren't you?
Yo, it was, I remember it like it was yesterday because like I was 14 in '99. So I was living in New York. We saw Phantom Menace over there. I remember
Hmm.
seeing it when it came out. Like you had a lineup, you waited in line, like there was a huge line at the theater. I remember that. So crazy. Then 2002, Attack of the Clones. I was in Florida, so I remember seeing that at the movie theater in Vero Beach, and I remember just going and just it was just so dope. And then 2005, I was living in Daytona, going to college there,
Yeah.
and Revenge of the Sith dropped. And like, I remember it like it was literally this morning. Like, I remember I was working a part-time job there, got to work at 10, went right to the movie theater for the midnight release on Thursday with two of the older dudes that work with me. And we just watched it. It blew our mind.
Hell yeah.
After the movie was done, we're in the parking lot, like zoom, zoom, zoom,
Right.
having it was, oh man, it was such a time. Oh yeah. So I was fortunate to see all those in theater, and I like
Mhm.
remember it everything to this last day.
Since you were born like in the middle between the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, what do you resonate more with?
So it's crazy because it's changed. So
Okay.
most of my life it's been OT. Even after the prequels dropped, I appreciated them and I liked them, but I always was like, the OT is better. I enjoy this. It wasn't until 2018 when I saw the Solo movie
Hmm.
and Darth Maul popped up at the end. And at this point, I hadn't seen nothing animation. So I've never seen Clone Wars. I've never seen Rebels. I've just seen all the movies. I've seen Force Awakens, Rogue One, Last Jedi, and I'm in Solo. And I see Maul, and I'm like, yo, he died in Phantom Menace. How is this possible? So then I Googled it, and I found out Filoni brought him back in Clone Wars and Rebels. So
Yeah.
then they were on Netflix. So I went home. I binged the 6 seasons of Clone Wars. I binged the 4 seasons of Rebels, and like seeing so much more stories in the prequels with Anakin, Obi-Wan, Dooku, Mace, Ahsoka, it enhanced my look at the prequel trilogy to the point where I think I'm more prequels than OT
Okay.
because of Filoni enhancing that story and adding to it. Yeah, I'm a little bit more prequels than OT now, but it used to be OT then prequels.
Right. Okay. That's awesome,
Yeah.
man. Dude, I can't believe like you got on so late. I mean, I kind of did
So
too
late, bro.
with
So late.
Clone Wars, but it was I think I started watching Clone Wars like maybe 2016, and
Oh,
then
okay.
by the time I got to Rebels, it was like on Rebels season 3, so I was able to like catch up and then
Yeah.
experience everything from there. But yeah, dude, I love the animation. It definitely gets slept on these days because it's animation, but
Oh,
I love it.
it's the best that we're getting. It's the most consistent with good storytelling and that most fans that watch it enjoy it. And I got into it late, but it was crazy getting into it before season 7 dropped and watching
Mhm.
season 7 week to week. Those
Yeah,
last 4 episodes, that month was intense, man.
right. It was,
So
dude.
good.
And then especially the last arc with the Mandalorians and Ahsoka and Darth Maul, dude.
Yes. Yes. Masterpiece.
Yeah, so satisfying, brother. What is your favorite movie?
Oh, Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith
Revenge of
all
the Sith.
day, man. Like I said, the story of how I remember it, but just the movie itself, like it was dope because when we went, you knew what had to happen. You knew
Yeah.
Anakin had to become Vader. You knew he was gonna turn. You knew the bad guys were gonna win. And the way they did it, so beautiful. That lightsaber battle is still like the top battle that hasn't been touched,
Yeah.
in my opinion. It's
Agreed.
insane. And then just like the music, and then just the ending with the twins, Luke, Leia, and then to Tatooine with his family, he goes, and then Obi-Wan dropping him off, and then because I just watched it literally yesterday, and then seeing the twin sons and hearing the Skywalker theme, I had goosebumps the whole time watching that. Literally yesterday, goosebumps still watching Revenge.
Man, I need to go back and retouch it. That's my favorite one too. I love that movie so much. Just the music, the fighting, everything about that movie. It's so good. And then I feel like the ending to it is just so perfect. And then, you know, you get the 20 years in between into New Hope, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Star Wars character, you'd say?
Maul, Darth Maul. So it started back in 98 because like 98 is when the trailer dropped for Phantom Menace. And then I seen him and I'm like, yo, this dude looks crazy. Dual bladed saber. Never seen that before. It blew my mind as a kid. But then he got cut in half and he was done. But then coming back to it later in life and seeing him in Clone Wars being a savage, and then him in Rebels still doing the same thing, and then getting him again in Clone Wars season 7. It's just Darth Maul. That's my guy. That's my number one. It's him, and then like Anakin.
Okay. So we kind of got the same opinions about things when it comes to Star Wars and Star Wars characters. I see.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Star Wars show that you like the most?
So if it's live action, Ahsoka.
Okay.
If it's animated, Rebels, and that's kind of like the same answer because literally Ahsoka is just Rebels season 5.
Yeah, it is.
I think that's why I like Ahsoka so much because it's just Rebels in live action. I love Rebels. It's tough. It should be Clone Wars because technically Clone Wars there's more and it's better. Yeah, it has better arcs. But like Rebels, it's just such a vibe, and everybody pops up in Rebels. And Chopper has the most kills in all of Star Wars. That's my dude. So I'm a sucker for Rebels, man. Sucker for Rebels.
Yeah, Rebels is so good. And a lot of people, I don't know, they just sleep on Rebels too. Like they'll watch Clone Wars, but then sleep on Rebels. And then I find a lot of people, they'll jump off after the first 2 seasons. And I'm like, after the first 2 seasons, that's when it like gets really, really good.
Thrawn gets introduced in season 3. Yeah, Thrawn is like one of the top 5 villains in Star Wars, man. He's insane. Dude has no powers. It's crazy.
Man, he's a savage, dude. He is a savage, bro. But so what was the experience like being able to see all of the prequels in theaters? Like, what was that experience? Because I kind of got a little bit of it. I was in 2nd grade when episode 3 came out. So, of course, I was able to see Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. So I was able to, of course, see like Walmart and like all the toy sections and Toys R Us. But like I wasn't able to like get the full experience from episode 1. So like, how was that leading up to episode 1?
So it was really great and dope. Like as a Star Wars fan watching it in the 90s, I was super excited that, hey, I get to go to the theater and see the prequel, see how it all started. So I remember every single movie was special because like you see the introduction of everybody. Like Phantom Menace, you see young Obi-Wan, you see 3PO being built by Anakin, you see how they get R2, and then Attack of the Clones, Boba Fett, Jango Fett, like you see his father, you see the clones, you see all that stuff. But I wasn't really much into collecting back then, so I don't have a lot of like recollection of like go to Burger King and getting all the toys.
Yeah.
And like I remember seeing stuff in Toys R Us, but it's not like how I am now where I look for that stuff. It was there. And another thing you gotta remember, back then Star Wars still wasn't like the cool thing where it's like, everyone's a Star Wars fan. It wasn't as popular back then as it is now. It's like a lot more mainstream now, and there's a lot more people into it. Yeah. But like back then, it still kind of was like, it wasn't like a huge thing for the masses. You know what I mean?
So they say the prequel trilogy was hated on. I can kind of like see that afterwards. But how was that like being able, because like as a 6-7-year-old kid, I never like really saw that. But did you ever see any of the hate during the prequel trilogy?
I didn't see a ton of it, and like the internet was barely just starting back then, so like you couldn't see as much. So maybe like you would see in newspapers or maybe on TV, people talking about it, but it wasn't as much. I know there was a lot of hate for it and people criticizing it, but it's not like how it is today, where if you do something wrong and you're somewhat popular, everyone and their mother will see it on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, this and that. So that's also kind of why the people that did enjoy it, they didn't get the love that, the actors didn't get the love that they deserved, because there's no way for me as a 14-year-old in 99 to let Ewan McGregor know, yo, you did awesome. I love you as Obi-Wan. Like there was no way to make that connection. So that's why now you see Hayden, Ewan at these conventions nonstop on stage, almost crying. Like I remember Ewan at London Celebration on stage and Hayden and Ewan at Anaheim Celebration on stage, and they were both getting emotional because like it's all of us 90s kids, 80s, 90s kids that grew up, early 2000 kids that grew up, were there screaming and chanting and showing them the love they deserve. So at least that part was good now. But yeah, there was definitely some of it back then. But I feel like it would have been a lot worse back then if technology, how it is now, was there back then.
Oh, yeah, I get that. And that was one thing that I loved to do when I first met Hayden at Philly Fan Expo, was to really just thank him for coming back to Star Wars, because he's always meant a lot to me, and then especially like not just him being Anakin, but like him as an actor. I've always loved the Jumper movie too. But
Jumper is so good, man. Oh,
it is. I really need to get it on like DVD, Blu-ray, or something, because like I always think about that movie, but I just have no way to watch it because I never see it on like any streaming services or anything.
I think I watched it maybe within the last 6 months, but I think I rented it. Maybe it was like Amazon or something like that, where I was like, yo, I gotta watch this. This movie is such a vibe. It's because that dropped after Revenge of the Sith. So I remember seeing it in theater, and I remember like, yo, this is Anakin versus Mace Windu rematch, because like they're both going at it. It was so cool.
Man, yeah, it's such a good movie. It was definitely original, so just different to like a lot of other movies that you would see today.
Yeah.
There's another movie that kind of released. We're kind of getting off topic here, but have you ever seen Chronicle?
No, what's Chronicle?
So Chronicle is this movie. It has Michael B. Jordan in it and 3 other actors, but pretty much these 4 kids. I want to say they like find a cave or something, and
they have
get these,
superpowers.
Yeah, and they can like fly around and everything.
Yeah.
And the kid that plays the Green Goblin in like the Andrew Garfield universe, he gets super evil in there, and it's a great movie if you haven't seen it.
I have seen it. Yeah, I literally just Googled it, and seeing the Green Goblin kid, I'm like, I remember that, because he did turn bad and abuse his powers while the rest were like kind of low key with it.
And I think he did that movie first, and then that got him the role to be Green Goblin or something like that.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, I love that movie. How you feeling about next week, man?
Dude, I am pumped. I still got to buy my flight. I should have bought it like 2 weeks ago, but like the price has been going up and down. But like either I have to buy it in the next 3 days, so I'm either going to get a decent price or get screwed, but it is what it is. But I'm super pumped to see Hayden again. I've met him MegaCon, London, MegaCon again. Chicago, Tampa 5 times. No, Chicago twice. So I've met him 6 times. So this will be the 7th, which is wild. But the last 2 were his fault why I went to see him again, because I did the dual photo op with Hayden and Mark in Chicago. And it was crazy. Like, it was just nuts walking up to Luke and Anakin sitting next to each other. It was unreal. And when I walked up, I was like, hey, Mark, hey, Hayden. Hayden looked at me. He was like, hey, and dapped me up as if he like remembered me or recognized me. And I was like, that was weird, because it felt like genuine. So I didn't have an autograph with him. But after that photo op, my boy Navo, he gets a bunch of comic books autographs. So he had an extra one. He was like, yo, I bought too many Hayden autographs. Do you want to buy one? I'll sell it to you for less than what I paid. And all the Hayden autos sold out. So I was like, damn it. I was trying to find a reason to not do it, but it was cheaper. It was sold out. And like, I kind of wanted to see, did he really remember me? So I bought the auto, went that in like an hour or two later, got the autograph. And as soon as I pull up to Hayden, bro, I almost had a heart attack. He looked at me and I kid you not. He said, we've met a few times before, right?
That's awesome.
And I was like, yeah, we met in Orlando, we met in London, MegaCon, this and that. So the fact that he remembered me was nuts. And then that next weekend, he was at Tampa Bay Comic-Con, and I live in Tampa. So I was like, man, I got to go again because he just to talk to him again. So when I went to see him at Tampa Bay Comic-Con, bro, we were just chopping it up. He's like, hey, so where are you from? Where do you call home? What's your name? Like talking to me. I was like, yo, like the chosen one knows where I live. He knows my name. And then, for the Hayden autos, you have to pay for a quote, if you want Darth Vader. He did all that for free. Like he signed my helmet up here and he put a quote on there, Darth Vader, and signed it. And I was like, yo, it was just insane. So that's when I told him my name was Tony. Now, next weekend, I want to see how good his memory is. Because if I pull up to him and he's like, hey, Tony, good to see you. Bro, I'll faint, man.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. That's part of the reason I'm going. Like, I don't need to see him again. I've met him a ton. But I kind of want to see if he remembers my name. And this is his last show of the year. And who knows next year if he's going to do a ton of shows. Because he might be recording for Ahsoka Season 2. Maybe something else. So that's why I'm going out there just for that, man.
Yeah, he's been busy this year, just going to almost like it's at least like a couple cons a month that he's been at.
Yeah, I think somebody said he's done 13 cons this year, something like that. It's at least like once a month. Some months it's like 2.
Yeah, that's crazy. It'll be my second time officially meeting him this year. I can't wait to meet him. This time I'm definitely getting a photo op with him, and then I'm getting another signature. But
nice,
wait, dude.
The first time you did an auto, right?
Yeah, just the auto. I got a comic book signed by him.
Isn't it crazy when you meet him and just like talking to him and like how he locks eyes with you and stuff?
Yeah, like he spends time with everybody, and that's what I love, because I didn't like expect to be able to like thank him for coming back to Star Wars, and then like he even complimented the shirt that I was wearing.
Nice.
So like, it was all cool, man. Like Hayden, he's such a good guy. He's still my favorite person that I've met.
Me too.
Everybody that I've met. But
yeah, he's my favorite awesome too. Even I met Mark Hamill twice at Fan Expo Chicago, and I still put Hayden above Mark just because of the fact that he remembers his fans that he sees, which blows my mind. Dude sees thousands of people a day. How do you remember like me?
Right.
Like it was nuts.
Crazy. But that just shows, how much Star Wars and like us as fans really mean to him. And I definitely ain't gonna complain about it.
Yeah,
so hopefully, one day I get to the point where he can remember me too. But you guys, that's your best friend, man.
I know, it's so dude, it's so crazy. That's why I can't wait to pull up and just to see, man. I can't. I'm hyped. I'm hyped for that, man.
Have you ever been to Ohio?
Cleveland's in Ohio, right?
Yeah,
I went to Cleveland like 2018 to a Cavs game the year before LeBron left.
Okay.
To go to LA, I believe it was. So yeah. I went to watch a game there. So I was just there for like a weekend. It was cool. It was cold, and I know it's cold now, so it's like, damn, I got to get a hoodie and bring pants. I'm in Florida. I'm in a t-shirt and shorts like every day.
Exactly. Yeah. Right now, the weather's not like too bad, but always just keep an eye on the weather, like or something, because they can jump around. Like one day it could be snowing, and then the next day, you could be in sweatpants and a hoodie, and that's all you need. So
yeah.
But it just all really just depends. What's your favorite thing to collect?
Man, oh God, I don't even know anymore. Now it's kind of like I like collecting old random things that I either didn't know existed or I find cheap at cons. So I like deals, but some of my favorite things to collect are like the Unleashed figures from like the early 2000s. I love the Unleashed. Lately, I've been going nuts with Topps trading cards. So like, bro, I literally have, they're like everywhere. I got like cards everywhere.
Oh man,
all kind of. This is the one I'm bringing
dude,
to have
I love that
Hayden
one right
sign.
there. Yeah,
But like this, I've been the past 2 months heavy into the cards, just because like for me, it brings back nostalgia of me as a kid in the 90s getting like Pokemon cards and X-Men cards. So it's fun, that thrill of trying to get a hologram or an autograph. So now it's the cards. But yeah, the Unleashed figures. I'm starting to get into some of the vintage like Kenner figures. So like I got a few up here because a lot of those like I'll get them cheap at the shows. So stuff like that. I did like collecting helmets, but like, dude, I ran out of space. So
yeah, they take up so much space.
I've stopped buying because I have nowhere to put them. So that's kind of just chilling there. But like, yeah, TVC Unleashed figures, Topps cards right now. That's really it for the most part, I would say.
How long have you been collecting for?
I would say 2015 is when it really all started, because that's when I did my first con. That's when I started to get into Funkos. So that's when I started collecting Funkos. I'm retired from Funkos now, but 2019 is when I started collecting TVC, the vintage collection, because they dropped the Slave one. That Slave one that's up there, right there, yeah. So I grabbed that because I'm like, yo, that Boba ship is fire.
Right.
And then I learned about the little TVC figures you could put in there. And now the whole wall is covered with TVC. Then I learned about Black Series. Then I learned about Hot Toys. Then I learned about like lightsabers, then helmets. So it slowly went from this to this to this.
What made you want to like really make your own, like just a Star Wars room?
Part of it was, well, you know, I started collecting before the channel. Well, I just liked the stuff. So I just liked all of it starting in 2019, really getting into it, and then starting to, you know, go to cons more. So that was the slow buildup of it. But it grew even more when I had the channel, just so I could have like a background
display.
So that's part of it too. Because like it was never like lit up and, you know, perfect angles for the camera. It was just kind of just, you know, it was set up the way it was. So it was a combination of it just slowly growing, and then once I had the channel, just more with that as well.
Man, that's awesome. Oh, sorry. But what's your favorite thing in your collection that you have?
Man, it's got to be either the Hayden autograph helmet, that, or the Mark Hamill autograph plaque, which is in, you can't really see it, but the DTOF, these are all plaques that are signed. So probably either the Mark Hamill plaque, just because like that's rare. Like, dude is old. And I also got a Billy D. Williams plaque in there too. He's 87. He was at ICCC this year. So probably one of those three, I would say. Just because like it's the autograph, but it's also the experience of me meeting them and getting to talk to them.
And that's so cool being able to like meet all the original trilogy cast, because you know it just seems like every year is getting less and less, and it's so sad, man.
I know
they're getting up there in age. How do you display your plaques? Do you have like a board to put them on, or like what are you doing with them?
So I just have like they're like, it's like a clear acrylic riser that you could use to display like Funkos or TVC figures, and then I have little card stands like this, and they're just on this in there.
Oh, okay.
They're like 3 levels up, and yeah, that's how I have it. Because they're kind of like, it's kind of tricky to mount them in a board or on a wall, so you have to find something to like lean it on. So that's how I have it right now.
Man, yeah, it looks great, dude. Like I love it, man. I know there was this one time you did like a room tour, and I was able to like see most of your stuff, dude. I love it though. It's awesome.
Thank you.
So, but this looks like this is a quick show here. I don't really have too much. You really answered all my questions that I had for you. But this was fun, man. I am. So what I do for each guest, though, I get them a Holocron Legend shirt.
Oh, nice.
And then I put together a care package. So I'll put your shirt on order. I did hear on the stream you're extra large, right?
Yes, sir.
Got you down. Just wanted to make sure. And
yes.
But that's all I have. You got any questions over anything?
So for next weekend, besides Hayden, are you meeting anybody else, or is it just for Hayden?
So I'm meeting Hayden on Saturday, and then I am going to meet Sam Witwer on Saturday also. It'll be my first time meeting him. I was hoping that they were going to release that Force Unleashed Funko, but I think that's still there. But down the line, yeah, it's somewhere over here. But I have a Darth Maul from Clone Wars Season 7. I'm going to have him sign. And I'm still on the fence about getting a picture with him. And then Friday, I'm knocking out like 4 anime actors. So,
oh, nice. Yeah, I think on Friday, I might meet Patricia Somerset again. She's the voice actor for Princess Zelda from The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom. I met her in Chicago. She's such a vibe. So I want, and I just thought about this the other day. Hold on, let me grab this. And I told my brother I was going to do this, and he was like, man, I wish I would have thought of that. So I want to bring my Nintendo Switch because I got the Zelda edition, and I want to have her sign the front and just go ham. She likes to do, she draws like 3 little hearts, like how you start Zelda with 3 hearts. Yeah. So I'm gonna have her just do that. She also knows how to write in the Hyrule language, the Hylian language. So I might have her just tag it up in all like, you know, Hylian language. So I'm gonna bring this.
You met her a couple times, haven't you?
I met her at Fan Expo Chicago, and I had her sign a Zelda plaque. But she's just so cool. So I'm gonna meet her for sure. I might meet Charles Martinet again, the voice actor for Mario from the past 3 decades, which is crazy. Yeah. I've met him before, but he's so cool. And I'm tempted to meet Sam again, man. He's just such a vibe, and he has such a wealth of knowledge. You need to really think of a good, juicy question to ask him, because if you ask him the right question, he goes off and just. It's so cool. Like at Ocala Comic Con, I asked him about I said to him, I was like, you should talk to your boy Dave and see if he could do a Tales of the Sith. And he just went off. He's like, man, you know what would be interesting? The story of Palpatine and Mother Talzin, and like he just went in, and I was like, yo, like I would love to see that too. So he is a fan just like us.
Right. He knows his stuff.
He knows his stuff, man. So yeah, I might do that. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited to check it out though. I've never been to GalaxyCon. I know they go all over, so it's gonna be fun vlogging the whole show.
Yeah, it's gonna definitely be a fun time. We definitely gotta meet up time or two. Love to get a picture with you and everything.
For sure.
But but that's really it. So we'll be in contact, brother.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Oh yeah, thank you for coming on and being able to nerd out with me, bro.
Yes.
So that was another episode. This is episode 4 now of Holocron Legends. Today, to just wrap things up, I had Tony on the show. Check him out. I follow him. I watch his content all the time. It's always a fun watch, whether it's vlogs or getting us ready for conventions or his reactions. He's always there. He's always gaming, streaming. So don't forget to follow him. And thanks for watching Holocron Legends.
Pass on what you have learned. Strength, mastery, but weakness, folly, failure also. Yes, failure most of all. The greatest teacher failure is.